Gosh, so welcome back. This is our fifth installment of the Hometown Heroes speaker series. This is our fifth podcast, and we are at Pines Elementary School today. Thank you, Mr. Bullis, for hosting us. I have in front of me boys and girls from Ms. Dorman's class and Mr. Preddy's class. And just to kind of frame this for our students and for those watching eventually on Facebook and social media, the purpose of the Hometown Heroes series is to connect with individuals in the community who are often for our students here, some are moms and dads or aunts and uncles or grandparents or our neighbors who are shining examples of what a hero is all about, right? Like it's someone who has given back in a certain way to the community or served our country. And we often talk about these people as a life, having a life of service, so serving others in some way. So this is a unique installment because I have three special guests with me today. And I'm going to introduce them. I'm going to read exactly off of the bios to start, and then we'll get into a conversation that is meant to be just free-flowing and gives all of us an opportunity to learn a little bit about them. Okay? Does that sound good, boys and girls? Good? Okay. So I'm going to start all the way over here to my left. This is Mr. Harold Pickwick. Harold, first honor to introduce him. He was born in Queens, New York. Mr. Pickwick was drafted into the United States Army in 1969 during the Vietnam War. Hands, have you heard of the Vietnam War? Show of hands. Okay. He completed his training at Fort Gordon, Georgia, and Fort Knox, Kentucky, before serving overseas in Germany for more than a year and a half with the 2nd Battalion, 4th Cavalry in the 4th Armored Division.
Yes.
Following his military service, Mr. Pickwick returned home and devoted himself to his family and his community. And he built a career with the United States Postal Service while raising 2 children, continuing a life grounded in responsibility, resilience, and service. Today, he joins us to share his experiences and to offer perspective on what it truly means to serve both country and community. So, boys and girls, can you help me welcome Harold today?
Thank you.
And now we have another familiar last name. I think you'll learn why. So this is David Pickwick. This is Harold's son, Captain David Harold Pickwick, raised in Belrose Terrace and a graduate of Floral Park Memorial High School. Captain Pickwick demonstrated an early commitment to helping others. As a young man, he volunteered as a junior firefighter and served in multiple local fire departments. He also worked as a lifeguard and pursued his studies in fire science. Began his professional career in emergency services in 1999 as an EMT, providing critical care during medical emergencies. In 2001, very important year in our nation's history, he joined the Fire Department of New York, where he has since built a distinguished career. Through sustained dedication and leadership, he was promoted to lieutenant in 2014 and earlier this year to captain. Together, their stories represent 2 generations of public service, both shaped by a deep commitment to protecting and serving others. So grateful to have David here, along with his father, Harold, to share their experiences and insights. And I believe there's another Pickwick in the audience. Where's Lainey? In the front row. Who are you? How do you know these guys?
Because they're my dad and my coffee.
Perfect. You said it better than I ever could. So it's Harold's granddaughter and David's daughter in the 5th grade class of Miss Dorman and Miss Miller. So can we get a nice additional warm round of applause for David joining us? And then finally to my right, it was off camera, but we just missed a very special moment a moment ago where Damie got to hug his daughter here. So we'll talk about that in a second. He's a 2011 graduate of Connecticut High School, went on to attend the University of Detroit Mercy, where he earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice in 2015, while also competing as a Division I lacrosse student athlete. Wow, that's impressive. His commitment to public service was influenced early on by his father, retired detective from New York City Police Department, whose experiences helped inspire a career in law enforcement. Continuing that legacy, he and two of his brothers now serve as members of the NYPD. Over the past 7 years, he's built a distinguished career, beginning as a midnight patrol officer in the 102nd Precinct, which is in Queens. And his work has since evolved into a specialized role as an investigator with Queens North Narcotics, where he has spent the past 3 years focusing on complex drug-related cases. In recognition of his service and expertise, he was promoted to detective in August 2024. Congratulations on that. That's very impressive. And in addition to his investigative work, he continues to serve in uniform and has supported major citywide events, including New Year's Eve in Times Square. Has anyone stayed up to see the ball drop in Times Square? So Officer Danseglio, am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
Was there for that, clearly. 4th of July celebrations, Rockefeller Center tree lighting. Anyone ever see the tree in the city? Awesome. And assignments throughout the subway system. Grateful to have him here, and his daughter Alexandria is who I referenced earlier. So please, let's welcome Mr. Danseglio today. So, just real quick, you had two other brothers, you said, in the police department.
Yes.
You were a Division I athlete. Who's the best athlete of the three of you? We need to get that out of the way first.
Well, if you want somebody to go through a wall, you call my older brother. If you want somebody to go run somebody down, I would like to say me. I don't know.
Is your other brother a combination of both of you, or he's not in the mix there?
I'd say my brother Hunter, he does his own thing. I'm not saying that he won't do it, but
all good. I'm sure that. I wonder if they'd have the same answers if they were here and I asked them. You think they'd agree?
No, my older brother's gonna be like, no, it's all me.
Yeah, of course, of course. All right. Well, thanks, guys, for letting me get through those introductions. I think it's so important, those bios, to really, frame who you are, and I'm sure it's not easy to kind of hear all about you said out loud. So I appreciate that, but also I think it's important for our kids to hear and for our audience. So Harold, I'm going to start with you, if you don't mind. So you were in the Vietnam veteran.
Yes.
So if you can think back to maybe not their age, but maybe in middle school or even high school, what made you decide to serve in the Army?
I was drafted, which means at 18, you had to, at that time, go down to selective service, just sign up for it. All men, no women. It was just men.
Ooh.
And then a year later, at 19, I was called to serve. And then you do your basic training, and they decide if you go, where you're going to go. Vietnam, Germany. Vietnam, Germany. And then I did extra training at Fort Knox. That was on tanks. So I was a crewman of a tank in a tank system.
And you were 18, 19 years old.
19.
Wow.
Yes.
So you basically graduated high school, and then you were...
A year later, or 6 months it was even, I was called.
What was it like, boys and girls? Anybody have older brothers or sisters in the high school? So we're talking about Mr. Pickwick here, Harold, right out of high school, going to serve his country. What was that like for you to leave home and go into the military?
It was rough because you leave, the family's gone. You're just with all men you never met before, and you're just following instructions of what the sergeants are telling you to do.
So the sergeants were the first chain of command. They were in charge. Mm-hmm. Was there a typical day for you while you were serving?
Basically training. Push-ups, plenty of push-ups. Just
every day?
Every day, every minute. No walking. You had, from any place you would have to go, run. Run to that building, run to this building. Run. It was never relaxing time.
So were you in good shape for that, or did it was it a shock to your system?
No, I was in good shape.
Okay,
Yes.
so you were able to endure
Yes, there was other people like very overweight that had a problem, and the sergeants would get in their face. You got to do this. Get down. Give me 10 push-ups, and
and that happened all the time.
all the time. Yep.
Can you recall? Was there like a number of push-ups, like the most you could ever do in a row?
It wasn't that. It was
endurance.
Give me 10. Yeah, endurance.
Yes.
Then you're doing something else. All right, drop. Give me 10. Drop. That's what I say. Drop, drop, drop. That was their number.
To this day, when you hear the
Yes.
word drop,
Yes.
you're like maybe getting on the
Going
ground.
down.
I love it. Now, David, as Harold's son, I'm guessing there must have been some influence knowing that he served like that, that impacted you. Was it impactful in terms of what you do now for a living, in terms of going into the fire department?
Yes. Knowing that he had been in the military definitely influenced me. When I was younger, I never really thought of going into the military. Now, thinking back, I wish I had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wish I. That's one thing one of my regrets that I didn't serve.
But when you were their age, did you think about becoming a firefighter?
I wanted to be a fireman my whole life.
Oh, that's awesome.
My entire life. From probably the minute I was born.
Oh, so you found your calling.
Yeah.
That was
My grandfather and my two uncles that lived next door to me were volunteer firemen. And you could ask my dad, my mom. I think I was at the firehouse every day of my life. He'd pick me up from school. And
He wanted to be at the firehouse.
took me to the firehouse.
Which firehouse was this?
Belrose Terrace.
Okay.
In Nassau.
So I have an impression, I don't know about our students, that a firehouse is like a family, and there's somebody, one firefighter is like the cook who's like making big meals for everybody, and is that reality? That
It is, yes. So everybody lends a hand.
Okay.
I wasn't the cook, but I can cut things up, chop things up.
You were
and get
good at
things
eating the
on.
meals too.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
How many people are in a firehouse normally?
In a typical firehouse is about 12.
Okay.
Yeah, it's usually about 12.
And so you just were promoted, right, to a captain.
Captain, yes.
So is there a way that the students would know based on your uniform that you're a captain? Do you get a special badge or?
Yes. My collar brass has 2 horns on it.
Okay.
So as a lieutenant, you have 1. Captains have 2.
Okay.
And also the stripes on our uniforms.
So 2 stripes
2
means
stripes,
captain?
captain.
What's above captain?
Battalion chief.
Okay. And
next.
a captain's in charge of a firehouse, and a chief, battalion chief, is more than one? Right?
Yes, he's in charge of multiple firehouses.
Gotcha.
And the captain is in charge of the company. And there's 2 captains per firehouse.
Okay.
Because if there's 2 companies, there's 2 captains.
And is there even a rank above battalion chief?
Deputy chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody in the audience thinking about one day maybe becoming a firefighter? What's your name, buddy?
Adam Shelby.
Adam. Awesome. Just maybe this will help Adam a little bit. Is there a typical day in the firehouse, or are there stretches of days when you're not fighting fires and you're doing? Are there other things that you need to tend to?
Yes. Every day is pretty routine. It starts off with a roll call. So all the guys, whoever's working that day, we'll have in the front of the trucks, and we'll go over who's working, make sure everybody's there, and I'll explain if there's anything going on that day, if there's any trainings, or if we have to go out for building inspection. So if we're not fighting fires or responding to emergencies like car accidents or anything, we also do building inspection. So we'll go into the buildings, make sure that the exits are clear, all those kind of things, any hazards or anything that might be needed to be attended to.
So, so Adam said he has interest in becoming a firefighter. Anybody have an interest in becoming a police officer? All the way in the back. What's your name, hon? Jordan? All right. So I'm going to now turn my attention to my right here for Mr. Danseglio. Just thinking about a day in the life of a firefighter. What's a day in the life of a police officer? For you in particular. Is there such a thing as a normal day?
No, there's never a normal day, but really depends. So when I was in uniform every day, I, for the most part, had a steady partner, and me and my partner, we would just answer 911 calls. He would always be the one driving. I miss you, Jesse. He's sorry, my old partner's a
Sure.
New Hampshire State Trooper now, but he would always be driving. I'd always be running the radio, and every call, as I'm sure, just like in the FDNY, no call is ever the same. But what you use from your experience before and what you've gone through, it's, you know what, you just use that and you adapt from there, or you change how you happen to do things. What I currently do now is maybe sometimes I'm behind a desk looking up leads for drug cases or any mention about drugs. Other times we want to make an arrest for people happen to sell drugs, or as I like saying it to Alex, really bad medicine that certain people should not be giving out or even have.
So we were kind of joking at the start about you and your brothers, about your level of athleticism. Have you had any experiences where you actually had to chase after the bad guy and it came in handy being an athlete?
It did. It really did. Just there's a good amount of stories and everything. So I remember in my uniform days that there was a time I had somebody doing graffiti or taking a spray can and making marks on stores. And at first I couldn't believe it. I had somebody else on a different team and a supervisor.
Yep.
We saw that. I flicked the lights on, and it was in the dead of night. So at first I had
So
lost
you were in
sight
your
of him.
car at the time?
Yes.
Gotcha.
So I had lost sight of him. I hop on out, look at the sidewalk, guy sprinting down the road, and shame on me, I'm the one driving, so I actually should have stayed in the car, but the momentum kicked in. I just started taking off, running him down.
Did you get him?
Yes, I did.
So are you always with at least one in situations like that? Do you always have a partner with you for backup, or are there times when you're alone?
Yeah, so with what I have done, you're always supposed to have a partner. Kind of going back to one of my older my older brother, he's a highway officer, so sometimes he is alone, like he is allowed to drive by himself, but he's also another midnight officer as well, so he actually has a steady partner as well.
And would you say that an important role for the police officers in any community is to kind of build trust and rapport and get to know the community? Is that a part of what you have to do?
Absolutely. And the number one thing is always making sure everyone is safe. That one, on our side, we go to work and we also make sure we come back home. I know it's the same thing with the military as well as being a firefighter as well. The other is to make sure that the people that we do happen to protect around, that they feel safe and that they feel safe and comfortable enough to come up to us and be able to express something that they feel is wrong.
So I'm just going to keep with that theme, Harold, with you for a second about just building rapport with the community. For you being part of a unit, just the trust that you must have had with your fellow veterans. But at the time, again, you were kids.
Kids, yeah.
So you mentioned like the drop and do 10. Do you think that all of those things help to build a sense of team and trust amongst you and your fellow
Yes.
Army officers?
Yes. The first thing you do, actually, when we got there, everyone gets a haircut, bald haircut, shaved. I mean, we had men with hair down to here. As soon as you walked in, no choice. Give me trim, no.
Shaved.
Shave right down.
Who's ready for that?
All your hair gone.
Apparently, my head's being shaved later this month, so I'll be joining you guys for some cause. Did you have? I'm just curious. At that time, did you have long hair? Okay,
Not bad.
Okay.
Nice length.
so
But some men were like, long.
so even that. Why does that happen? Why do they?
It's so everyone's the same.
Yes.
No one is different. Everyone is the same.
So, are some of the men that you served with? Are they still? Do you still talk to them to this day?
One I do. Yes. I keep him. He's lives in Ohio, and we back and forth.
Are there veterans groups that you stay connected with?
Not really, no.
So, gosh, so 1969 is when you first enlisted. When did you actually get out of the military?
71,
Okay.
summer of 71.
Was that a tough transition to go from that experience kind of back into like normal life here?
Yes, it took time. Just your language,
Okay.
speaking the right way, because all men together is kind of rough.
And then how did you stay strong being in the Army when there was clearly things that were probably so challenging?
It's just your instincts. You just take it easy. Don't stress yourself out. Just keep calm. Do what they say. Whatever they
Always.
say, that's it. Don't buck the system. Do what they say.
Do you have different moments you look back on with pride, like being in the Army, that stand out to you,
Yeah,
like that you could share with the students?
We had times driving. We'd go a lot of practice.
You were in Germany.
Germany.
Yes? Okay.
So I was on tanks. So we would do road marches through the towns in Germany, and it would be like 4 or 5 of us on a tank.
Okay.
So we all rotated the different jobs, driving. One guy would be a gunner, a loader, and then you had the tank commander. He was a sergeant.
So a gunner is what?
That's the guy who was inside looking to shoot like.
The big guns on the tank?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
You guys have seen tanks before, right? How fast do they go?
The one I was on would go 50 miles an hour.
Wow.
Also could go in water and go across a lake. They had bilge pumps built into it, so we could go.
Did you ever have to worry about like mines, like running over a mine or anything?
No.
Okay.
It was kind of peace. Germany was peacetime yet.
But there was room inside the tank for 4 of you?
Yes.
Wow. I always thought of a tank as cramped in there, but it was probably cramped.
It is cramped, but you fit. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And any advice, like, so if we have students here, obviously Hop Hog, just great kids, and I often see them helping each other, helping their teacher. How can we think about advice to give them just for whatever they end up pursuing in life about the meaning of helping others? What would you say to them?
As long as you get along, like we had 5 of us together, we all got along on the tank. We work things out, talk it out. If you weren't happy, we'll talk it out. And just make it work. Yes.
So, so you talked about the people that trained you, and then David, turn it to you for a moment. How have you learned? Like, what was training like for you to become a firefighter? Was it similar in terms of get down and give me push-ups and all of that? Is that
We also had in our garage we had a gym set up. So we would do weights.
You got him started early.
Yes. Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Were you telling him to drop in the garage to give you 10?
Basically, we built a chin-up bar and
Pull-ups. Those are the
Yes.
best, right?
Yeah.
The key.
I put one up for my son in the doorway, hoping that it'll get him to do pull-ups. He passes it often without even seeing it. I'm working on it
Yes.
though.
Well, we had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you got started early, kind of getting in shape to be a firefighter.
Yes.
But is there like a boot camp for firefighters, or is it extended
is.
training?
Once you get in, because to become a New York City firefighter, just like the police department, you have to take a test and pass the test, and you put on a list, and you wait until they call your number. And once you get called, then you got to go through the academy. And the academy is about 18 weeks, and it's all physical endurance training, just similar to the military, because it's a paramilitary organization. So it's similar to what the military does. And running, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, and all of it type of training, like stretching a hose line, like the hose line puts the fire out. So we practice doing that, climbing stairs with all the equipment on, all different types of, getting used to using the breathing apparatus that getting used to that. There's a lot of guys that aren't used to that. They've never had that feeling where you put a mask on, and some people
Sure.
might be claustrophobic. So you got to train and get used to using that. It helped getting into the volunteer fire service young, that I already had that ability, and I was already had that training, so I already knew what it was all about. So it was very easy for me to get through the academy.
And you mentioned all that gear that you have to put on, even going up and downstairs. Do you know how much it weighs?
It's probably at this point it's probably about 150 pounds.
So picture that, boys and girls. It's like having two students in this class on his back with the amount of weight, maybe more.
Yeah.
So how do you even get used to that? I mean, is that you must be working out and exercising just to get used to that?
Yeah, just
all the time.
Working out all the time. We have a gym in the firehouse, so guys are always working out, and we do a lot of training. So every tour that we work, we're always training on something and practicing how to do things, and it just we put it all together, and it helps.
Can someone who doesn't like heights, so boys and girls, who likes to go on roller coasters? Okay, my hand would not be up if so I don't love going up super high. But if you don't love heights, could you still become a firefighter?
Absolutely, I don't like heights.
How do you deal with it?
When you put the uniform on,
Yeah.
you just do.
Okay.
That's one of my fears is heights. And in the academy, you had to do the life-saving rope, where you get lowered off the roof of
my
the
goodness.
6-story building and pick somebody up at a window, and you got to carry them down. And I know this is the job I wanted, and
That's amazing. Who
Let's do
thinks
it.
they could do that? Get lowered from a 6-story roof down and save someone? I got a few hands. I appreciate the honesty. It's not something that everybody could do.
No.
Training for you, police academy, similar in terms of the workout you have to go through to be in shape to be a police officer. Yes, similar.
So calisthenics, I'm sure both of you gentlemen would actually know. So a lot of things were like just body weight movements, where it's like push-ups, running. It's just constant running through the academy. And I went to the new academy over in Queens. The real academy, or the old one now, is in Manhattan. So with the new academy, we're running all across the hallways. I'm in class one day and I just hear the other like recruits running the hallways. I'm like, ugh, it's like, yeah, I feel that when it's coming up. But no, we didn't have anything like equipment like they happen to have done. So I would say the more rigorous training as the academy, no, that's definitely like kudos on the FDNY for doing something like that. I wish we had something like that.
So, so here's what I'm going to do. I see all the index cards in front of me. So I think we'll start with some student questions, which will probably be better than the other ones I have on my list. So let's start. We'll start with the front row here. Want to come up first, hon? And you can go right here. Come up to the mic.
What is the most memorable moment you've had while doing your job?
We'll start here. Now, that could be in the Army or your job. You were in the post
Post office.
Postal Service,
yeah.
right?
I was thinking Army mostly right now. Just driving the tanks is like a great feeling. It's completely different than a car. You're in the center of it. Like it looks like a cement truck where the fellow's right in the center. So you're in the tank center and you're driving with sticks to turn left or right, which pull it back. That stops this track from turning. So you could do like a complete circle in one spot.
You think if you got into a tank today, you could remember what you
Probably,
did?
yeah. Because when we were doing it I did it for like more than a year.
Sure. Awesome. And you, David?
Most memorable?
Is it tough to pick one?
Yeah, I would say just getting on the job in this city is probably my most memorable, and promotions.
Do you remember your first day?
I do.
2001, right?
I got on 2000. I got on EMS. I worked EMS in '99, and then I got on to fire in 2003. So it's just being a New York City firefighter has been my lifelong dream, and everything is just memorable. It's like it's still a dream to me. Like I still can't believe that it's happened.
Well, we could all kind of see the pride as you say that. So that's clear. Damie, for you?
I'm going to apologize to you, David, because my answer is very similar, if not identical. So the day that I got promoted, there's a real deep meaning behind this shield because this is the exact same shield that my father had when he retired.
Wow.
And
Same number.
same
yes.
numbers, the same everything. And he was my greatest role model of why I wanted to. So just like your dreams of being a New York City firefighter, I wanted to be a New York City cop.
And same for your brothers, I'm guessing, right?
Yes, very much so.
You know what? Can you turn just that way for a second and just tell the kids what are what's going on the badge? What does it mean? Starting at the top.
So with the very top one, we're all Americans, right? And you know what? Always got to represent the USA. The one beneath it, it's when you see the green and the white, it's an EPD to us, which stands for Excellent Police Duty, which means there was something that I had done or made an arrest that was deemed worthy of, hey, good job. The blue one, it's called a unit citation. What exactly I got it for, I always apologize for pausing too, but what I have it for, I don't remember why I have it. So it's just been on there.
You earned it. That's all that matters. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Thanks, hon. Appreciate it. Okay. Next question. Just say your name when you come up to the mic.
Caitlin,
Caitlin.
what would you tell your 5th grade self? Like,
Wow. All right, we got to go back in time. 5th grade self. So they're about 10 years old,
Grade
9 years
self?
old, somewhere around there. Where were you in 5th grade?
Great. City schools.
Okay.
PS 33.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Tell myself.
Do what you want.
Just
Anybody
thinking-
jump in. We have to go.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think in 5th.
What advice
So-
would you give yourself when you're 10, you have lots of worries about middle school and high school and what am I going to do when I grow up? Like what advice would you give?
I would ask my dad, can I do football at 10 years old and not in junior high?
Start football earlier.
It's much earlier, yep.
Got it.
I would just say keep doing what you're doing, and your dreams will come true.
Work hard.
Work hard. Work hard.
Yeah, I like doing gym at that grade.
Yeah.
Being in gym. Yeah, we used to have it was the Kennedy program. I think
Sure.
it was,
I remember that.
and you had to do different stations all around the gym.
Yes.
I remember taking the
Presidential
pegboards,
award.
doing the pegboards
Oh, yes.
across and down. Some people couldn't do it. I could go like crazy. You know?
I bet you Mr. Preddy could do those. Look at you see the arms on that guy in the back?
And then we had also climb the rope up to the ceiling
Yes.
back in the day, touch the ceiling down.
I remember that as well. Great question. Okay, in the gray. Just remember, start with your name, please, hon.
my name is Emmy. What inspired you to choose your job?
We'll start over here.
So my dad is he means a lot to me, and the stories that he would say to me, and there were a couple of times when I was a lot younger that he got to bring me with him to work, and just to see the culture and the amount of laughs and the stories that like his partners or his coworkers would tell me, I said, that's what I want to do.
Love it. I know you guys have kind of talked about this as well from when you were a little boy, right?
Yeah. It was my grandfather, my uncles, and even both my grandfathers. One was a New York City police officer also, and seeing my father with service, in the service and postal service, just everything, dealing with the community, and it just, especially the fire department, just it amazed me.
It's like an obvious path for you.
Yeah.
I know you shared your origin story, so to speak. Did you have friends who also went in with you at that time from your neighborhood or your
Not really.
So
no.
you were unique?
Yes. My father was in World War II, so
Okay.
he was in the Army, which we talked about it at times. And when my time came to serve, I went right in.
My grandfather was in World War II, and I don't know if you had the same experience. He talked about it, but he was also very humble.
Yes.
That generation.
It wasn't
right?
very detailed.
Yeah.
Just
Head
basic.
down, and we. Yes, I
Yes.
agree. Thanks. Great question. Want to come on up? John, how we doing on time? Good? Okay.
My name's Alexandria.
Have you done something really dangerous?
Something really dangerous. Wow. Who wants to jump in here first?
Well, just being on the tanks was dangerous.
Yeah, I was going to say,
We
that
had-
sounds dangerous.
We had people, you're supposed to be down inside to have a hatch, close it, turn it. And we had people who would not, they would ride on the outside. And on the road march, sometimes the track would come off and the tank could flip over. And we had people killed that way, you know. So
Did you know some people who passed away?
Yes,
Yeah. Wow.
yes. So you have to follow, you know, do the right thing. You just can't, I don't care about that.
Right, you got to follow order and,
Yep.
and structure, or else
Exactly.
mistakes are made. How about? I'm
Yeah.
certain there's fires that you must have battled over the years.
Yeah, there's been a few, but one thing that I can remember that was terrifying to me, considering I don't like heights. There was a fire in a 6-story apartment building, and the fire was on the top floor. And I was a firefighter at the time in Brooklyn, and I had the roof position, so the roof man has to get to the roof. So I had to climb the aerial, which is the ladder truck, the big ladder that's on the fire truck. I had to climb that all the way to the six floors to the top to the roof, and
I don't know
wasn't
how you
fun.
do it.
It wasn't fun. I just looked straight ahead and just prayed till I got there, and then you know, probably one of the scariest jobs I've had to do.
When the ladder is fully extended, how high up does it actually go at its top?
100 feet.
Wow.
100 feet.
Anyone think they could go up a ladder 100 feet? Wow. I'm impressed. I get on the ladder side of my house and I don't want to look down. Something that you would feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah. I would first say, obviously, does everybody know what SWAT is? And how they look? So when we happen to do a drug bust or something, we actually will get to wear equipment very similar to what they happen to do. And when the cases that we pursue lead up to that, there are times that we got the big shield, you know, got the helmet, the heavy vest. What makes it so dangerous, you don't know what's on the other side of that door. So this is where I would say, use your imagination, because I know we're talking with kids now, but I would imagine, you know, for gentlemen like yourselves, you can imagine what's on that other side of the door.
SWAT, what does that stand for?
So everywhere but New York, SWAT stands for Special Weapons and Tactics. Out of New York City, Suffolk, Nassau, we actually call themselves ESU, which stands for Emergency Service Unit, because they are a tactical group, a search and rescue group, paramedics, a lot of capabilities of like what they do for being an everyday officer, as well as some duties that the firefighters would handle.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks for the question. Okay. Right here in front row. What's your name, buddy?
My name's William.
William.
Have you ever broke a bone during your job?
Nope, not me.
Have you ever broken a bone not at your job?
No.
What?
No.
Let's not. I'm knocking on wood. We don't want to
Yeah,
jinx Howard.
That one.
I've never broken a bone, but I have torn my meniscus in my knee. I have had injuries. Yes.
Thankfully, no. Maybe hurt feelings, but no. No, thankfully, no.
Anybody in the audience break a bone? What happened to you, buddy? Your arm. How'd you do that?
I saw some kid do something, so I tried it. And that went.
Oh boy. Yeah, you
I broke my collarbone.
playing a sport?
In football, I caught the ball and somebody tackled me. And the football was right on my collarbone and the pressure just broke my collarbone.
Well, I'm glad the injuries are behind you. And we knocked on wood because I could add, I haven't broken a bone either. Not that I remember. I have a lot of scars, but no broken bones. Good question, bud. Thank you. In the pink. What's your name, hon?
My name is Avni, and my question is, why did you choose this job?
So I think they've done a good job of kind of sharing the inspiration behind their jobs. But I do, if I can, I'll add to that. What does it mean for you guys to have the jobs you have and be part of the Hop Hog community? What's the connection you feel with Hop Hog? Maybe we'll start over here.
I'm not really from the area, but just help the community. I mean, we live in a condo, so I'm always helping around.
Where do you live now?
Valley Stream.
Oh, Valley Stream. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I help-
Perfect. So, and what were you a postman in that area as well?
West Hempstead.
Got it. Okay. What about for you, David? Your connection to Hop Hog?
Connection to Hop Hog is my wife. She grew up here and went to school. Went to the Pines, the middle school, and graduated. And when we met, we decided to come back to. It's such a great community and good schools and just.
When did you move here?
In 2015.
Okay.
2015.
You happy?
Yes, very happy.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right, for me, life happens where I was in Hop Hog for a couple of years. I actually now reside over in Smithtown, but with my daughter Alex, she lives on the, on this side of the Hop Hog, with her mom, and being here is that's my pride and joy right there. So that's my connection.
Love it. Big smiles coming from the front row on that answer. Thank you. Good question. In the purple?
My name is Giovanna, and did you ever have to go on odd days to work?
So like on like holidays and well, certainly when you're in the army, every day is an army day,
Every day.
right?
Yep. No holiday.
What were you there for Christmas or for certainly your birthday and
Birthday, definitely. You do get vacation.
okay.
So I came home, stayed for like 2 weeks, then went back.
What happens over there when it is someone's birthday? Does it celebrate it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there even a cake? Like, does that happen?
Yes. It does.
Really?
Yeah, because we had this KP, which that's like the cooks.
Okay.
They hired cooks from Germany, which we had great food. So then they know people's birthdays and they celebrate it.
Awesome. Now I
Yeah.
know for you both, you have clearly had to work different holidays, and I mean, you even talked about New Year's Eve. But what's that's a sacrifice of the job, right?
Yes. No one from the beginning taking the job and was one of the sacrifices we'd have to do. whether it was
Particularly
Christmas.
because fires and bad guys, they don't stop for holidays.
True.
Right. So
Yep.
do you take turns though? Like if you were on call for Thanksgiving, is someone else on call for Christmas or Hanukkah? How's that work?
Yeah, we'll alternate. So I have a mutual partner,
Okay.
and when I'm not working, he's working.
Gotcha.
So we kind of alternate our schedules, and depending on the holiday, if we don't have anything going on, depends on whose group is in, and sometimes if their kids are older, he'll work like I'll work Christmas, you work New Year's. We kind of work it out. That type of thing.
Do you get used to having less sleep, right? Because I assume that you have to like not always sleep a full.
Yeah. It's you get used to it, but
It is what it is.
It
So
is what it is.
Yep.
Yes, it is what it is. But you
On an
deal
average
with
night, do you how many hours of sleep do you get?
4 or 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about for you, Davey?
Holidays, sometimes depending on how the days of the week or the rotation goes, where, hey, my team happens to have off this time around, maybe the following year. Weirdly, I may have it off again, but we do try to make it work for everybody. But a very memorable time of no days off, COVID. Yeah, I don't know how it was for you guys, but like, nope.
Yeah.
Every day coming on in. I think it was, at least for us, it was 2 weeks straight.
Wow.
I want to say that. I can't remember how long ago it was, but yeah, I just remember going home, then coming back, going home, coming back.
That's a great question, though, and I think it's something, right, boys and girls, that we always have to remember. When we're celebrating a holiday, a birthday, some special occasion, there's always men and women who are serving the community, who are working to make sure that we're safe. So great question. Thanks for bringing that to light. I think we're going to do one more question here. In the blue shirt. Yep. I come on up too, buddy, in the blue. You'll stand behind him.
My name's Carter, and how long did you train?
How long did you train? So we touched upon this a little bit, but we'll do this kind of rapid fire. So
Yeah, Army training was like 4 weeks. Then advanced training was another 4 weeks. And once you got stationed away, you were still trained. It never really ended.
Yeah, remember when he said drop? So he was training all the time.
That's training. And in the mornings, I'm going to tell you, do road marches, 5-mile runs every day in a group. You've seen it on movies.
Yes. Yes.
That's exactly how it is.
And sometimes there's hills involved.
Oh, yeah.
Yes?
Yes. Yep.
Our training is like I said, I think 16 weeks. And then same thing, you continue training throughout your career. You're training every day, every tour, just to keep up on your skills, and things change over time. So,
well, that's an important point before we get to your answer is you're going through school right now, right? So you think, oh, once I get to high school and maybe I go to college, I'm done with learning. But these guys will tell you, we're always learning. We're always growing. We're always lifelong learners. That's really what that phrase means. Training for you?
Yeah, so 6 months of schooling or training, and then afterwards, you find the training, like going to the gym, working out, eating good, and just the training helps come to you if there's an opportunity throughout the job.
Awesome. Good question, pal. What's your name, buddy?
My name is Grayson.
Grayson, with the final question of the day from the students.
How long have you been serving for?
I was 18 months, 2 years actually.
And how long were you with the Postal Service?
38 years.
38 years.
Walking. Yeah.
Still going.
Yeah. I have 27 years this year with the New York City Fire Department. And then I started out as a volunteer, so that's 30 years this year. So
that's a big milestone.
I'm embarrassed to say my answer now, but 7 years.
7 years. And when you think ahead, do you want to be with NYPD for your career, or do you?
Yeah, I'm not leaving.
You're happy where you are.
Very much so. I'm gonna follow like David over here and just say like riding out with the city.
Love it. Great job, Grayson. Thanks for the question, gentlemen. Thank you so much for enlightening us about your paths to this moment, and you continue to be on your career journeys, at least the two of you. I would ask, is there anything, we have our audience here, these are fifth graders, but others listen to. Any message you'd want to leave our group today about just, and this is tough because you look back, on your life and obviously you're all successful and you probably don't always think of it this way, but you're heroes to us. That's the nature of this series, Hometown Heroes. But any words of wisdom for our students today in terms of whatever they pursue later in life? Harold, starting with you.
Just, pick something you think you'd like to do, and I'm sure just follow how you feel from your heart,
Follow your heart. I love it. David?
Yeah, just whatever you're interested in, no matter what it is, just stay with it and study, stay in school, and your dreams will come true. If you follow and you work hard, they will come true.
Damie?
Follow your dreams. Always be kind to everyone. Be respectful to everyone, and listen to your heart. Let your heart and your mind and your dreams take you to where you want to go.
Love it. And I'll just add that I feel like a common thread here, denominator. Obviously, we have three gentlemen. I won't add up the total years that you shared, but there's a lot of years of wisdom here. And you hear the passion and the commitment and the dedication, right? So whatever you decide to focus on, put all that you have into it, and your dreams will come true, and they're proof of it. So, gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you on behalf of the Hop Park School District and the community. Thank you for your service. It really was
Thank you, Dr.
a
Murphy.
pleasure to get to chat with you. I hope it wasn't too bad, right? We got used to the mics and the cameras. And thank you to the teachers and Mr. Bullis for making this happen today. So let's get one more round of applause for our guests. All right.